Okay, social distancing diary day 1. This is weird. It's very weird. The whole world feels quiet right now. It's eerie. I haven't been out of the house in a couple of days because we were pretty much waiting to find out if all the news has been kind of getting updated on an hour to hour basis. So 3 or 4 days ago, I still assumed I'd be working most of my events for the next couple weeks. I thought maybe one thing here or one thing there would cancel, but no, absolutely everything. The entire event industry just collapsed. I've never seen anything like it. For those of us who, I'd say 90% of my annual income, 90% of how I support my family and the household and pay for all of our living expenses and everything else, 90% of it comes from live events, flying around the country, flying around the world and speaking on stages and doing live workshops. The other 10% is from, some of the little passive income that I make from ads and you guys clicking the affiliate links in the description and my online course, which, by the way, if you're thinking about if you've ever been considering maybe doing the online course, the Audio 101 for content creators, now would be an excellent time, and I'd be very grateful for that. Audio101.info, link in the description. But that's not why I'm making this video. So all live events were canceled. So for me right now, it's, by the way, it's Friday, March 13th. So day 1 of this social distancing diary is actually happening on Friday the 13th, 2020, just in case future generations discover this video. As of right now, through the end of April, 100% of my live events were canceled. So it's a lot. It's a lot of money, but I'm in a lucky enough situation. It's not going to be easy, but I'm not going to be financially crippled. We have savings. We'll be okay. Many of my friends are not going to fare as well. A lot of my friends and colleagues in entertainment, they are doing they're local performers, paycheck to paycheck, have been that way for a long time. That's kind of how, just like, restaurant owners, local restaurant owners are having a tremendous, problem right now in service industries. Anything that requires in-person interaction is just shutting down. And you can feel it already. We're kind of still in the panic mode, but I feel like people are starting to finally turn the corner on the panic and just settle into the reality of what's about to happen for the next. I think a lot of people are talking about like the next month. I'm not sure it's only going to be a month. I think we're in this for 2, 3, 4 months, maybe 6 months. And I don't say that to be alarmist. I say that because I want to make sure that I am prepared for what's coming. If I get taken by surprise, then I can't, you don't want to get taken by surprise, especially if it comes to your economic stability, your financial stability. It's really important to listen to the scientists and the infectious disease specialists and not the media. The scientists are speaking, soberly and seriously about this, but not alarmist. So I guess I'm going to start doing these daily updates, just 2, 3, 4 minutes, just chatting about how I'm feeling, where my headspace is at. If anything comes up with friends or family, I'll decide whether that's relevant here. We had a scare today down in Florida where my both sides of grandparents live. My grandfather, who's 81, was admitted to a hospital with 103-degree fever. They tested him. He tested negative for COVID-19, but positive for the flu. And that's part of what people are forgetting right now in all of this is that even if you don't get it, if we panic and let things get out of control and we don't do the social distancing measures that all of the experts are recommending, then we're going to overwhelm our healthcare systems, and then people who have other things, all the other things, broken bones and accidents and the flu and all these other things, they're not going to be able to get the help that they need, and everything's just going to compound on itself. So more than anything right now, we need to be doing what the scientists recommend, what the experts recommend. Ignore the media, insofar as, the alarmist panic nature, but social distancing is real. You probably should not be even hanging out in small groups. I know most places, like where I live in Connecticut banned all meetings of 250 people or more. But, this can spread just as easily in 10 people. So as best as you can, if you can, probably best to do the social distancing. Now, the trouble, and where my mind goes, is at what point does that lead to isolation? And I don't mean literally, physically being isolated, but psychological isolation, right? As so many people have said so many times, humans are social creatures by our nature. Now we have things like this, video chat, available to us that previous generations wouldn't have. And we're really going to need to lean hard on these technologies. I kind of make a living saying, this is not a substitute for real in-person interaction. And it's not. But at the moment, real in-person interaction is more dangerous than anything. So we are going to need to figure out right now how to implement human connection strategies and, build communities and build trust and engage in social behaviors without physically being in the same place. That is going to be a survival mechanism, a coping mechanism that we're all going to have to get better at. I will include my thoughts about that, tips, things I'm doing, things that are not working for me, as the days go on. I'm hoping to continue to make regular videos as well. I'll probably, with nothing else to do for the next couple of months, I'll be focusing on a lot of my own projects, working on my second book really hard. I should be able to just finish it in the next 2 months if I have nothing else to do. I'll add a whole bunch of new modules to my online course, to the Audio 101 for Content Creators course. So those of you who have already bought it, thank you to all of you, the community over there. You'll be getting some new modules probably in the next few weeks because I got nothing else to do. Those will mostly be focused on kind of podcasting specifically, which I think is something everyone's going to start leaning into real hard right now. I'm going to continue, writing my blog and every week and doing all of that. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading, and I'm conducting a lot of podcast interviews for my podcast. So here's one thought for those of you out there, wondering what can you do right now to make things better for yourself, for the world. So if you're watching this, a YouTube video, you probably consume a lot of media, virtual media on a regular basis, or even physical media. You probably read books and you read blogs and you listen to podcasts and you watch YouTube videos. And those people right now, the artists who put all this into the world to make your life and all of our lives a little bit happier, a little bit more bearable, they're hurting hard right now. That community of self-employed artists, freelancers, is never been hit harder. There's estimates right now that just the live event industry alone, my industry, is a $200 billion industry, which means it's 4 times larger than the GM bailout of 2008, just to give you a sense of the economic implications. So what can you do for free? There are so many things you can do for free right now to make the world a little bit better. If you've read books recently that you really enjoyed, go on Amazon and leave them a 5-star review and leave them a great review. That'll make it more likely that other people will buy their book and help them in the short term, the authors. The podcasts that you listen to on a regular basis, go rate them on Apple. Go give them a review, share them with friends, tag them and say how much you enjoyed their most recent episode. It's not going to put money in their pockets, but it's definitely going to put a smile on their face and make them feel like they still have value, like they're still contributing in spite of the economic hardships. Same thing, blogs. If you follow people's blogs or get weekly emails from some of your favorite thought leaders, respond to the blogs, reply. People forget, I forget too, even though I write one, there's a human being on the other end of that email you get every week from somebody's blog. Like, when people actually reply and write to me and say, hey, today's blog really hit me in the right way, and I shared it with my friend or my colleague, man, that means the world to me. So there's a lot you can do for free to support the artists and freelancers who are hurting so badly right now economically, and dealing with all the same panic as everybody else, but don't have the full-time job that's going to keep paying you and just say, well, work from home for now. We don't have that. We just got wiped out overnight. So again, I'm okay. I'm in a lucky situation here. I mean, if it goes on for a year, I won't be okay, but I'm okay right now. But these are things that you can do for so many folks who are not okay. And if you want to do that for me personally, I would still be very grateful. Links to all of my stuff are in the description. My blog, my podcast, and my book, they'll all be down there. So if you want to implement any of those for me, of course, I'd appreciate that. But definitely do it for anybody you can. I'm going to take some time this weekend to do that. The same thing. I'm going to go through all the books I've read in the past 6 months and write reviews for them on Amazon, and go rate and review all my favorite podcasts that I've never thought to, because we don't think to. But right now, that level of kindness and compassion and generosity, that's what we need right now. So, all right, that's it for day one update. I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully things are looking up. Stay safe, and be careful out there. And remember, our world is a shared experience. Let's get through this together.